Hi, I'm Will.
And I'm Risa, and this is Talent Talk.
On today's show, we have acclaimed artist, the one and only LOCKWOOD BARR. But before we get to our interview with her,
take a look at the incredible talent that is Miss Lockwood.
Please put your hands together for LOCKWOOD BARR!
Ladies and gentlemen, LOCKWOOD BARR!
It is LOCKWOOD BARR on the Woodsong.
Music Mix Daily, Day 3 of CMA Fest with LOCKWOOD BARR.
She was the best decision maker, world-class troublemaking instigator, living in the moment, kind of innovative, a life too short to play, and it's safer, the best bad decision maker. Your eyes are cool like the water, but your smile is as hot as it ever was. Look out there, won't you be my man? Take me by the hand, won't you take me by the hand? I'll sing you like a song, 'cause tomorrow I'll be gone, but you're bringing me back to those days. Look out there, won't you be my man? Take me by the hand, won't you take me by the hand? I'll sing you like a song, 'cause tomorrow I'll be gone, but you're bringing me back to those days.
this is Will Nunziata, and once again, I'm joined by my better half, Risa Binder, and today's guest is acclaimed artist, the one and only LOCKWOOD BARR. Hello, LOCKWOOD, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you all?
LOCKWOOD, we are doing so much better now that we are finally speaking with you, and for question numero uno is my better half, Risa Binder.
Lockwood, we're so excited to have you on our show, and you are a woman of many talents. I kind of want to know the moment that you thought to yourself, this is what I want to do with my life. Was there a specific moment, or let us know that little part of your story?
So yes and no. So I think I've always known that I was gonna do it. Like which I think most artists will tell you, like anything in the arts industry is very much a calling versus a decision. And so, since I was a baby, I was always like, because my mom, instead of getting a babysitter, sometimes if she couldn't get one, would bring my sister and I along to choir practice with her. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm very ingrained in it. I play my dad's banjo. Like, I'm very much like the product of my family and surroundings. But I will say there was one moment in college where, not that I had ever considered anything else, but this was like sophomore, junior year, when like people are starting to really look at internships or a semester of doing research or whatever. And I realized I was technically like an academic career. Like I did music coursework, but I was technically child psych. And but I just realized at that point I had spent all of my spare time playing out in Nashville, trying to meet people, writing songs. I would like get away with turning papers in late by telling my professors I had a show. But there was this moment where I was sitting with some of my sorority sisters at lunch, and they were all in suits going to interviews. And I was like, I don't even know how to get an interview for a job. Like, I just realized like at that, like there was this point where I was like, oh, I'm going to be exiting college, and this is like literally all I know how to do. So I feel like I almost consider that the moment where I realized how much it kind of like became light to me of like, oh no, this is like a thing I've been doing my whole life. And it's like all I know how to do.
One, and also it's in your DNA. I mean, talk a little bit about, first and foremost, the musicianship and artistry in your family. And then B, I know that's probably like picking your favorite babies, but like in terms of the collabs that you've had so many really cool collabs. Is there one in particular that like, I don't know, holds a special place in your heart?
There is at the moment. And I mean, it definitely is like choosing a baby, of course. So I would never want anyone I've collaborated with. All right, actually, I'm gonna go split skis. I'm gonna do two on this. I think my first is collaborating with Barrett Baber for Christmas in Memphis, because I think I kind of came into this very like Carrie Underwood country world, and I love Carrie Underwood. She's one of my faves. Seen her live, she's the greatest. But I'm not Carrie. I'm a bluesy. I've got a rough edge. Like that's just naturally how I sing. And so I think working with Barrett was just so much fun, because like we were just kindred spirits. And so there was so much of this, just like, I just remember feeling like completely myself in the writing when we wrote that song, and then when we tracked it. And it was so much fun stacking the harmonies and everything like that, because it was like like, this is gonna sound so corny, but it was also just like, it was like, you know, two voices, one soul or some
Really
crap. I
though,
don't know.
but I
Like,
mean,
but you know what I
really,
mean? Like it was cool. And I think this was, I mean, we recorded it a year and a half, 2 years ago now. And so I think that was at a point where I was really, I think, not that I haven't always had a sense for who I was, but I mean, Risa, I feel like you'll understand this doing the artist thing where like there is, I think every artist has an aha moment where they're like, oh, that's my brand. Like this is just who I am and I'm owning it now. And so I feel like that project with Barrett coincided with that sort of. And then my second one is a much shorter story, but it was a collab with John Mullins and Ryan Pruitt, and it was a funk song, and it was one of the top funk songs on Spotify this year. And I was a writer and then a backup vocalist on it, and it was just so much fun to just jump outside of my bubble, and was just fabulous. And like, please go. It's called More, so it was just fun to be out of my wheelhouse and do something totally crazy.
oh, I love it, Lockwood. Well, listen, we have so many more questions to ask. Before we ask our next question, we have one very important one for you, Lockwood. Are you ready?
Okay. I don't know, but like, let's go for it.
Lockwood, are you ready for game time?
Yeah, born ready. Hi.
Well, Lockwood Barr, today's your lucky day because today's game is Sing It, Guess It. Risa, explain a little bit about what this game is all about.
This game is super fun. You're basically singing the clues to the picture I'm holding up. And Will is going to be blindfolded, and he has, I think, 30 seconds total on the clock to guess everything. And he's very, very competitive. So I have all the faith.
You got to get this in 30 seconds, 3 and 30. Let's go.
Okay.
On your
Let me
mark,
know when to be. Okay.
get set, go.
Picture one.
Sitting on the table, so many colors, so many pieces, they're all together on the table. Everyone's
Puzzle?
looking. Yes. It's the millennials' obsession, not chips and salsa, but some meats and cheese and fruit. It's the millennial obsession when you have a party and you need to put out some food.
Antipas?
So yes, yeah, kind of, yes. They are man's best friend.
Dog!
And we don't. There we go.
Great job, Lockwood. We did it, baby. Well, Risa, you
Woo-woo.
helped too with your
Thank you.
amazing images. Risa, I know that you have one final question for our incredible guest.
Yes. This is a total side note. I just want to share my admiration for something that I read about, but we've never actually talked about in person or on Zoom, which is the fact that you spring into action and make a difference in people's lives, people who really need it. And I think this was back in 2018. I only remember this because that's when my daughter was born. I remember reading about what you're doing in San Francisco for suicide prevention. And I just want you to maybe talk about that for a second. And
Absolutely.
thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole theme of that goes back to, there's a saying that I think really sums it up, that is, the more you know, the harder it gets. And so when I dealt with a lot of suicide growing up, because the Golden Gate Bridge is a global magnet. People come from all over the world to jump because they want a glamorous out. And I knew someone every single year of high school, and I myself have struggled with mental. I mean, who hasn't? Because I think especially for any artistic minds out there, I think we make a living feeling deeply, and so I think, baby 17-year-old Lockwood didn't know how hard it would actually be to get a barrier going. I was just a kid who was really sad and who had lost her friend. And that's the way her name was Casey Brooks, and that's the way a lot of Casey's friends felt. So I went to the town council and got a resolution passed, because my childhood town borders the water, like in the bridge directly. So we passed a resolution to get a net or some sort of barrier. We weren't sure at the time what it would be. And then my friend Roxanne went to the board of the bridge and gave a speech. And it was this story of these teenagers who like I said, we had no way of predicting the complications of getting federal funding and whatever. We didn't even know what that would look like. We were just kids and we were sad. And so I look back on that sometimes and try to like feel inspired by it, of like, remember change is possible.
Yes.
But I made a vow to myself that I would carry around her picture until that construction started, and I did. And I took her, like, it was the wallet, like, senior picture, and I took it 3-4 years ago now, and was like, all right, we did it. But of course it's a slow process, and so it was such a gift to actually be able to go to Fort Baker and actually look under the bridge and see it going up, because you can't see it when you're driving across the bridge, you know. So I went underneath to the old military fort and took a look, and it's surreal. Like, for so long we didn't, and there were so many false starts. And
you did that, Lockwood. You made that difference with your friends.
I will say it's a team effort, and I think Casey's parents have I also want to commend Casey's parents, because she was their only child, and they made this lifelong effort to stay involved with us as well. And so I think they kept us inspired, you know, and they say that we kept them inspired, but they kept us inspired. You know what I mean? Like, we were just all determined, like, this death will not be in vain. Absolutely not. Like, it's, you know, and I think we're at a really critical time in our country where we really need to address mental health. And I think we're starting to, and you know, the fact that, like, I remember when CBS Sunday Morning called and they wanted to broach that subject and they wanted to tell Casey's story, I was like, this is huge. I can't imagine a network wanting to tell Casey's story even 5-10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, so there's all of these steps that are happening where it's like, okay, we're in the right direction. Like, stuff is happening. But I'm surprised I'm not crying. I think maybe I've just, like, cried enough.
No.
I know. Well, we're tearing up for you. But
Yeah.
Lockwood, the fact that you let go of the how when you were a kid and knew in your gut you had to do something, and that it worked out, is inspirational enough in a show don't tell way for kids out there who oftentimes feel helpless, in that with your band of friends, you were able to carry the baton of Casey's life, and all of the Caseys out there who feel that the only way out is to literally and figuratively jump.
And I think I said this, I think, in one of the Instagram posts when I was showing the barrier last week, but I think it is not just about physically stopping people from, because obviously it will physically, literally save lives, but I think it's also a symbol of us as a society putting our money where our mouth is.
Here it
and
is.
Saying that we value life. Like, it will physically save lives, but it is also a beautiful symbol where we are telling people who are struggling, you know, checkbooks and calendars don't lie. They just don't. And this is where, like, we as a society put money and said, we value your life, you matter. And I think that is equally huge. You know, it just, yeah.
You're amazing,
it's time.
Lockwood. You're an incredible talent. You're an incredible advocate for positivity. And
Yes.
it seeps through your personhood and your artistry. And I mean, I know I speak on behalf of both Risa and me. We would love for you to play us out with anything you would love.
Okay. Well, now I was gonna go, do we want, all right, my latest single's about, since we were just talking about suicide, I'm gonna switch and do something just completely different, and just let's take our,
Do it, baby.
So this is essentially a song about bad habits, but this is called Adderall. Should I move the camera, or does that not even matter?
There you are.
This is a song called,
You are
here's
perfect.
the guitar. This is a song called Adderall and Alcohol, and yeah, it's about bad habits, and I'm gonna leave the rest of the song. It's like Adderall and alcohol and all the things I know I shouldn't do it all, but here we are again. Like a glass of wine at midnight, just another way to pass the time and fade away from anything that's real. Maybe tomorrow I'll be better to take it slow and steady, but right now all I'm ready for is just a little bit more Adderall and alcohol. Another night through closing time keeps my eyes away from what I dare to dream. when I fall asleep. Maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to take it slow and steady, but right now I'm ready for it's just a little bit more Adderall and alcohol. Adderall and alcohol. If I wanna put myself together, gotta let myself fall apart. If I wanna see the light, I gotta fall in love with the dark. But maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to take it slow and steady. But right now, ready for it's just a little bit more. Maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to take it slow and steady. But right now, oh, I'm ready for it's just a little bit more Adderall and alcohol. And a glass of wine at midnight. Another night through closing time. Of Adderall and alcohol.
Lockwood Barr, my gosh.
Raspiness is
Stay in school,
awesome.
kids.
Lockwood Barr, your voice is in every person's voice. You have such life to it, but yet so elegant and raw, yet also control. I mean, there's so many, talk about so many things I can,
Well, you'll get
the
this.
real-
I think it's because of theater training. So I think, you know, I was raised on the storytelling of
There it
country
is.
music. I was trained in the storytelling component of writing a country song, but then also like the monologue element of musical theater where every word matters and you find your beats and what are you talking about and all of, I mean, so I feel like I can say that to you guys.
It's like you
Totally.
investigated every single lyric, but also every single emotional beat within that song to create a 3-act play.
Oh.
Listen, Lockwood Barr, we could speak with you forever. We just want to let you know, Risa, I mean, once again, thank you so much, my love. You bring the best artists in the world to our show week after week after week. Lockwood Barr, you're a freaking star. Oh, I just want to, it kind of creeps
Oh my
me
God,
out,
you're
but
so
you know what?
talented.
It's the truth.
So
And I'm so grateful for you coming on to Talent Talk today. And
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad to connect with you. Well, and Risa was someone I had to play it cool with too, because like I had like way a girl crush on her like before she moved to Nashville, because Change the Conversation had like done a thing on women in country, and they were like, follow, like there'd been this, I was on one of the early email lists and they were like, you need to follow Risa Binder, and then I like met her at one of the events and did the Max Pollack thing and was like, don't be weird. Don't be weird. And now we're
Did
like,
you hold
and
your,
I'm on
wait,
your
did you hold your
podcast.
pigtails like that?
I mean, I might have eaten my hair. Like I'm a parent, I might have had like a Phoebe from Friends moment. I wouldn't put it past myself. I don't remember, but I'm not going to rule it out. So
I can't. Lockwood
Gosh.
Barr, thank you so much for coming on to Talent Talk today.
you guys are awesome.
yes, we will
Thank you.
connect again.